Hello everyone, this is Weather coming at you with another update. In this update, we're talking about a major pattern change with an Arctic blast and a very snowy pattern coming up. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family on social media. All right, so let's get started. I figure I'd start off and give you an update on this big snowstorm that we talked about in the Northeast. It's happening right now. Here are some of the snowfall totals over the last 48 hours from this event. And you can see, I mean, it started off in Des Moines, and these little orange shaded areas were dropping anywhere from 8 to 12 inches by Chicago, and even in some areas, 12 to 18 inches out of this storm. That it filtered into Indiana. You can see the graph, and now it's into the Northeast. And believe it or not, this is only halfway over. We still have a second half to this event, and we've already picked up, check this out, almost 20 inches of snow in spots in the Northeast. And those will just keep adding to those totals. I know, like New York City, Central Park, last time I saw, they were like 13, 14 inches. So this could be an historic snowstorm that's just going to continue for the Northeast. Looking at the latest NAM 3K NAT model, yeah, look at all the snow that's still yet to come. It's been two lows from this system. We had that low of the Ohio Valley, but we had another secondary low that formed off the Virginia. Now that low is going to be deepening and really starting to get in its act together. And all this snow is still yet to come for the Northeast. Today, this is Monday around 3 o'clock when I'm making this video on the 1st. And this takes you all the way through Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening on the 3rd. So yeah, we still have a good 1 to 2 inches left in Ohio, a good 2 to 4 inches in West Virginia, and start to get your heavier amounts as we get into Pennsylvania. Yeah, this is the bullseye from this event in southern PA and New Jersey. We talked about someone possibly getting 30 inches up from this storm. And look, we still have another foot in spots left from this system. And even along the coast, I mean, it hasn't even gotten into Boston yet from this storm, but that will start overnight, getting into the day today, and even into Maine. It'll start approaching Maine on, for the back half of this event. But yeah, a lot more snow on the way for the Northeast. But now let's take a look at the overall teleconnections and what's actually going to happen for the rest of the month of February, because we have a very snowy pattern on the way. Here's your latest North Atlantic oscillation. You can see it's basically going to be continue negative all the way through the middle of the month. And even towards the end of the first week, as we get into Sunday, you can see it really starts to dip to a -4 deviation. That's when we have our Arctic blast that's going to be on the table that we're going to be going over. And then the AO is also the same, trending well negative, and it too goes to a -5 deviation. So there's some very cold air on the way for Super Bowl Sunday as we get into the second week of February. And here's the EPO. I mean, so it's very rare that we actually have all four teleconnections, the EPO and the PNA, almost trending neutral to negative at the same time with the NAO, the AO, the EPO, and the PNA. So that basically tells you there's some pretty cold air that's going to be entrenched over the United States starting as we get deeper into February. So this pattern is really going to start locking in. So here's the surface map, and this is Thursday, February 4th. So I started it from here because that snowstorm will finally be done in the Northeast. But man, there's just more on the backside. So we could be dealing with more snow by Thursday, February the 4th. Start getting into Minnesota, portions of Iowa again, getting into Wisconsin, and that will continue moving across this kind of a fast-moving system. By Friday morning, February the 5th, we could be dealing with more snow for the Ohio Valley, getting into portions of Michigan by then, getting into parts of Pennsylvania with some more like a quick moving system. But we also have more snow building off in the Northwest as this pattern starts to really get active. that'll be dumping some more snow into Idaho and to Montana, and you can start to see the freezing line start to creep down a little bit. And as we get into Saturday, that system, quick moving system, will kind of move across. But on the backside, on the 6th, we'll have more snow as this cross-polar flow starts to set up over the heart of the country. And that'll be just a very active pattern with some snowy conditions start getting into the Dakotas here by the time Saturday the 6th rolls around. But that will continue moving off to the east. And by the time we wake up on Sunday morning the 7th, yeah, we could be dealing with more snow again in the Ohio Valley. This time a little bit maybe further south. More snow into Kentucky, more snow into Tennessee, getting in Virginia. And that would be setting the stage for possibly another snowstorm for the Northeast. But we got Arctic air to talk about. Here's the depiction, what it's going to look like by the time Sunday rolls around, Super Bowl Sunday. You can see the teleconnections really start to go negative. We got blocking starting to in place. That stratospheric warming event that took place the first week in January is finally coming into the United States. I mean, we had so much colder air in Siberia for a long time that eventually moved over to Europe and then into parts of Canada. But finally, the trap door is starting to come open. That's going to allow the colder air to just funnel into the United States. And it's in a big way. And these greens, those are below zero temperatures, start to entrench into the northern regions of the U.S. So we've got some much colder air on the way. And if you look at some of the temperatures by then, this is Sunday morning the 7th. So yeah, all these temperatures in green are where I'm highlighting is below zero, if not teens below zero, almost 20 below zero in Minnesota. These are actual temperatures, not feels like. And so that colder air, even single digits, get into Missouri, teens getting into Oklahoma, portions of Arkansas. And that colder air will start to continue pushing off to the south. But man, like I said, we have another snowstorm. We could be on the table as we go into Super Bowl. As the Super Bowl starts, we could be having another snowstorm breaking out for the Northeast. I mean, 0Z is basically 6 p.m. on Sunday night. So as we go into Sunday night, getting into the overnight on Sunday into Monday morning, next Monday morning, the 8th, yeah, we could be dealing with yet another snowstorm for the Northeast. And some of these darker blues could be some more heavy snow for the Northeast, as well as Arctic air gets entrenched on the backside in this pattern. Now we're talking by Monday morning, the 8th, we're talking 20 below zero in Minnesota, Wisconsin, even into Iowa. So this is very cold Arctic air that's on the table, even into portions of Chicago, 13 degrees below zero. These are actual temperatures, not just feels like. Those below zero temperatures could be into Indiana, getting into portions of Ohio, and even in widespread teens and 20s for the deep south. And here's your feels like temperatures. Now, this is where it gets dangerous, folks. I mean, we're talking upwards to 40 and 50 degrees below zero wind chills. This is some very frigid air that's going to be filtered into the U.S., and that's going to be coming on by next Monday, February the 8th. And those below zero wind chills will go all the way down to Iowa, even into Missouri, getting into a good chunk of the Midwest and even portions of the Southeast, and some very colder air will funnel all the way down into the deep South, where we got wind chills in the teens in Texas and Oklahoma and a good chunk of the South. I mean, this is some very cold air on the way. And here I implemented a frostbite. What it would feel like, and this is where it gets dangerous. I mean, any exposed skin and those type of environments, I mean, you can see you could get frostbite or hypothermia within 30 minutes. And when you start getting below 40 degrees below zero, you only last 10 minutes in those situations, and it could be dangerous, folks. So this is a serious situation with some very Arctic air that's going to be on the table by the time next Monday rolls around the 8th. Now, let's take a look a little bit further. Now, this is a chart from what they call the SOI index, is your Southern Oscillation Index. Now I keep an eye on this index because it basically tells me whenever this is kind of trending further to zero, or if not almost negative, that means the southern branch, the Pacific jet, is going to be more active the lower, the lower it gets to zero. So this has been trending further negative as we go into February now, and now that will actually set the stage for possibly a more active southern jet, along with some Arctic air start to entrench in the pattern. That could be setting the stage for the portions of the deep south to try to get some of those a more active subtropical jet and be have more snow chances as we go deeper into February. Here's your typical type setup in that type of environment. When that would play out, we would have a very active subtropical jet starting to take place, and as colder air starts to push further south, this will be creating those overriding conditions, and that could set the stage for more southern snowstorm setups for portions of the deep south, especially as we get into the second week of February, and then going deeper into February, because a lot of the longer range guidance says this cold air is not going anywhere anytime soon in February. Now let's take a look at the MJO. Now this has really caught my eye. We actually been in some warmer phases, but it's been neutral. The further it is, it's been basically neutral. So here's a chart of the different phases of the MJO. This is over the next 30 days. So you can see basically from January into about now, we've been in fairly warm phases in 4, 5, and 6. You can see in the chart 4, 5, and 6, but it's been neutral. So as it's been neutral, we've still been able to get some snow filtering into the picture, because it's not as extreme. It would be out here, it'd be very warm, but it's not. So, but what's caught my eye is we're trending into some colder phases, and February is already historically one of the colder months of the year. And so this could set the stage for some very cold weather for an extended period of time. You can see it's rounding the corner, goes into phase 7. Look what phase 7 looks like. So that's some colder air starting to trend in the pattern. As we go deeper into February, trends into phase 8. That would be a colder pattern for the south and southeast. Go into phase 1. Here's phase 1. Phase 1 right here, going into phase 2. So as you can see, as we go deeper into February, even starting into March, this would be circling the corner of some colder phases in the MJO. And look, it's not neutral. It's well extended. So the further away it gets aligned from the neutral zone, the more extreme it is as far as colder or warmer. But if it's in a colder phase, that means we got some very cold temperatures that's going to be on the table for the rest of February and actually even going into March. So I don't think this pattern goes away anytime soon. And taking a look at the latest long-range CVS V2 guidance, you can kind of see, even as we go into the second week of February, we have that classic cross-polar flow setup. We have below the average temperatures filtering into the central and southern and eastern parts of the U.S. And that pattern just kind of gets locked in as we go into the second half of February, where we got much colder air locked in over the United States, just creating those snowy setups. And if we take it out another frame, even towards the end of the month in February, those colder temperatures are starting to just continue to be locked in over the United States with that cross polar flow setup, setting the stage for just active with a very active subtropical jet, a cross polar flow. That would be a snowy pattern for the United States, folks. And as we get into March, the first week in March, again, the same thing looking like. So we could be in the position where we're talking about a very active pattern as we go deeper into February and then going into March. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to keep up with. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll try to keep this as best together as possible for you. So I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video. Definitely leave your comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after storm.